come into his presence. That phrase is amazing. That the holy, powerful, majestic God who fills heaven and earth with his presence and his glory should invite us, tiny, puny, fallen sinners, to come into his presence. That's amazing. It's astonishing. I mean, imagine if you got a really special invitation. I'm talking about fancy invitation to attend a special meeting with the President of the United States, or the Queen of England, or someone famous that you greatly admire. You would consider that such an honor. But do we stop and think about what an honor it is to be invited, called, commanded to come into the presence of God? There are just a few people who have access to walk into the president's office or his living quarters. But every child of God in the world is invited to come anytime, day or night. Come alone. Come together with someone else. Come together with your church family. All of us are invited to come into his presence. Now, the Old Testament Jews reading this psalm, hearing this psalm, singing this psalm as they went to the temple to worship would have been amazed at this too. To be invited to come into the presence of God. That's not how they had first come to know God. Remember Mount Sinai? Exodus chapter 19, where the law was given? Verse 12 says, you shall set limits for the people all around the mountain. Set a barrier, set limits, saying, take care not to go up into the mountain or touch the edge of it. Whoever touches the mountain shall be put to death. So these children of Israel lived in mortal fear of getting too close to God. You know that the tabernacle had the holy place, the holiest place, where only the high priest could go once a year. That's where the Shekinah glory of God dwelt. And the normal, everyday, run-of-the-mill people couldn't just walk into God's presence. They would die if they did. Same when the temple was built, as they would go to worship. Yes, they could come to the outer courts, but they couldn't walk into the presence of Jehovah. They were sinful. He was holy. To walk into his presence would have instantly killed them. Stay away was the message they had. Oh, yes, you can come so far, but no further. And that's why you love when you get to the book of Hebrews. Chapter 9 that says, but when Christ appeared as a high priest, he entered into the holy places. He's gone there by means of his own blood. For Christ has entered into heaven itself, now to appear in the presence of God on our behalf. Therefore, now into chapter 10 of Hebrews, verse 19. Therefore, brothers and sisters, since we have confidence to enter the holy places by the blood of Jesus, let us draw near. Let us draw near with a true heart, in full assurance of faith, with our hearts sprinkled clean from an evil conscience. Wow, oh wow, oh wow. And so in this Old Testament psalm, it anticipates the day when Christ would come. He would shed his blood so that we could walk right into the presence of God. Not in our own righteousness, but clothed in the righteousness of Christ, who stands and pleads our case at the throne in heaven, who says, you can enter because I am welcome here and you come in my name, and because I have shed my blood for your sin, the penalty has been paid, the sacrifice has been made, you can come with boldness into the presence of God. Come into his presence.